today's tutorial, I'm going to walk you through how to create your word search collage utilizing Photoshop. To get started, make sure that you go to File, Open, and you're going to be looking for opening up all of your image files that should be saved in your Google Drive. So once you locate all of your pictures, you're going to go ahead and open them up. You're going to edit each one individually. As you finish editing each picture, don't forget to save your work. So the next thing that you're going to do is you're actually going to edit each image. To start your editing process, you're going to go to Image, Adjustments, and you're going to look for black and white. This will convert your color image into a black and white photo and allows you to adjust the different colors in the image as you can see here. So I'm playing with each of the sliders. As you can see, there was a lot of yellow in this particular photo because of the yellow tones in the book, and there's not as many tones in the other colors. So you can see there's also a lot of red. So there's a lot of red tones and yellow tones in this particular picture. And as I'm clicking the preview button, I can see how my picture is being edited. So the second step that you want to do is really push your brightness and contrast. You'll go to Image again, Adjustments, and now you're going to go to Levels as you can see here. You're going to use these sliders to adjust your brightness. So the slider on the far right is going to allow you to adjust the brightness as you move it closer to center. And then the adjuster on the left-hand side is going to allow you to adjust how dark the image is, or really target the blacks and the shadows in your work. Again, checking that checkbox, that preview button, really allows you to see how your image is looking. The next step that you want to do is you want to crop your image. So selecting the cropping tool, you're going to go up to the top, select ratio, and you're going to make it a square. So by making it a square, it'll automatically format for you. And what you want to do is you really want to hone in on the letter itself. That should be the main focus when you crop each of your letters. Now you're going to repeat the process with each of your other photos. You've completed the process with each of your other letters, the next step that you're going to want to do is to actually create your background or a new file where you're going to be placing all of these images together as a collage. So we're going to go to File, New, and you're going to make a custom setting of your width is going to be determined by the number of letters that you have multiplied by 3 plus 2. So that's how I ended up with 14, because I have 4 letters times 3, which is 12, plus 2 to give yourself plenty of space to move all of your letters in the format. Your height should be 4 inches to give yourself enough room, and resolution 300. Then click Create when you're ready. The first thing that you want to do is you want to double click on your background and make it an editable layer. You want to find your paint bucket and change the color swatches back to the standard black and white. To find your paint bucket, sometimes it's hiding under that gradient tool, so keep that in mind if you can't find the little paint bucket, that sometimes it's hiding under that gradient. So you want to make the background first black, make a new layer, and then you're going to make a rectangle. I'm going to switch the swatches to white, so that is now my fill color, and I'm going to make the swatch pretty much evenly fill. So there's now that black border, and now I have this white space to work with. Sometimes you notice that your layers might disappear. So to make your layers really visible, make sure you click on that Layers tab, and you can adjust some of those other settings that are on that right-hand side for you to view. So what you want to do with each of your images is that you're going to select the image. So select all is Control A. You're going to copy, Control C, and then paste, Control V, back into your where you're editing. One thing to keep in note, as you're working, I highly recommend that you save with each letter. So as you put each letter into your final, that you are saving those along the way, because we all know sometimes Photoshop will freeze or glitch or have issues. So you're going to continue this process with your other letters, where you're going to select all, copy and paste. You want to transform each letter, which is Control T, and that's how you can adjust the sizes. One of the things you'll notice that I'm also doing is I'm checking using those guidelines. They're like magenta colored, and I want to make sure that I'm getting the exact same size. So as you can see here, I'm just a fraction of a hair off. So now when I check my guidelines, I should see guidelines that show me that they are the same. So now I'm going to set it up so it's completely aligned, both centered with each other, and they're pretty evenly spaced. Now that I have all 4 letters in this space, I now want to work on my spacing. So now I'm going to be really utilizing those guidelines to make my spacing as even as possible. So my first goal is to try to get as even spacing between all 4 letters as well as the ends. You can, once you kind of space the center of each image, you can select all 4 of your images by holding down that Shift key, and once all 4 of those layers are selected, using that Move tool will allow you to move them and redirect all of these layers at the same. Alright, now that I have my even spacing, as you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and save my project file. You are welcome to readjust your spacing if you like, so your letters are maybe a little closer together. Make sure that you're saving your project as both a Photoshop file, so you have all of your layers. And then flatten your image. Go to up at the very top, layer, scroll all the way down to the bottom to flatten image, and don't forget to save it as a JPEG. And that concludes today's tutorial. Thanks so much for watching.